So this is my family. This is my dad and my uncle, who I love so much.
Don't mind me.
And we have a lot of stories that we share together, and we're doing this.
We got to 2.
We doing this show because this is like a time capsule almost, because these niggas are gonna remember this shit. like in 10 years from now, I'm gonna play it for a nigga like, I remember that. I remember that shit.
I remember everything I say, young man.
I love these dudes, and the fact that we have a lot of family history together. Like, we've been through some shit together. Like, some things I can bring up, y'all be like, oh, I forgot about that. It's the same thing.
Let me tell you about Brian, since this is one.
All right, come on, Dad. Oh, shit, here we go.
Good thing there's an edit button.
Unsolicited opinions. Ooh, I love those. Come on, nigga, let's go. I've been waiting.
Anyway, so welcome to Unsolicited Opinions. Tonight we have very special guests. We have my father and his brother, my Uncle Keith and Odell, in the building tonight, and we're just gonna talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about, because we're just happy to have them on the show.
It's a family thing.
It's a family thing, and they are free to talk about whatever. So we're just gonna
sit. It's a family event. This my condo uncle and my condo daddy.
Like, we all grew up in the same neighborhood together. We all grew up together, but they were our elders, and they have a different perspective on the life that we grew up in. We grew up underneath them because they were our elders, so we kind of followed their lead, and I learned a lot of things from these men.
We also stole their weed.
That's a good question. Hey, Dad, so do you know this? So, all right, Dad, you had the little blue box. The little blue...
This was the subject of a podcast.
There was.
I remember that.
My dad had this little blue box in the house. So first of all, I want to start off by saying that I didn't know my dad smoked till one day this guy came over and he was like, "You smell that?" I was like, "Yeah, my dad and Uncle Skip are downstairs smoking cigarettes." He was like, Chris was like, "No, that's not cigarettes." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Brian, that's not cigarettes downstairs." And I was like, "What do you?" Because I didn't know what it was at the time.
That's reefer.
He was like, "Them niggas smoking weed." And I was like, "No, they not, Chris." He was like, "Brian, I'm telling you, that's not new. That's not the cool. That's not cool. That's not. They don't smell like cools down there. That's not cool." And I never knew until that time. I didn't know. And I looked up to my uncle, because my dad and my Uncle Keith, they were brothers like me and you were brothers. Like, they were brothers, like they was thick and thin. So I looked up to him, and I didn't know at the time that's what was going on. But as we grew older, I learned.
That was my fault. Because when you found the box and showed me the box, I was like, ain't no way in hell he gonna know if we took some of it. It's loose. We was taking the box. I'm like, we take a little bit.
We were taking one joint.
No, they weren't roll. He had loose. We had to roll it ourselves. That's what. No way he gonna know if we pitched this out. And then we ended up on the big rock.
Our question is, did you know? Did you know, or did you just let us go with it, or did you like, I'm gonna fuck these niggas up?
A lot of times he let us just go with it, though. I know. A lot of times we thought we was getting away with shit.
Oh well, if they are. My dad already told me that a lot of times I thought I was getting away with something I wasn't. But as an adult, we've been through. Now that we're at the age of have kids, we thought the things that they thought they was getting away with, they're not, and so that lets me know the things that I thought I was getting away with, I wasn't.
Did you know?
The truth of the story is.
What's the truth, Dad?
I thought I raised my kids to understand boundaries.
You did, Dad. You did. You did, Dad.
To know.
Yeah, they knew exactly where they had to cross over.
and I want to preface this by saying that I'm not saying that my dad was like he did the right thing. It wasn't his fault. I was sneaky as shit. Yeah, I was a sneaky ass kid.
I mean, it was my idea.
Yeah. Me and Chris, we were sneaky ass kids. It's not like my dad was neglectful. I don't want to give nobody the impression that he was neglectful.
He was neglecting that weed under the bed.
But you know what? Hold on. But you know what?
What, Uncle Keith?
Me and Odell never smoked weed together. I've never smoked weed with Odell. Ever.
So coming up. So let's talk about how.
Ever.
So let's talk about how y'all came up.
I smoked a pound and a half with Tommy. I've never smoked.
What was y'all relationship like coming up? What was y'all two? How far are y'all apart? How far?
11 years.
11 years.
That's the baby boy.
I'm the youngest.
I'm the oldest boy.
So you got how many? So you got Tommy and Darren in between.
We got
everybody
years.
between.
So you're the baby.
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. Wow.
11 years.
I wouldn't cuss in front of him for a long time.
Oh wow.
I wouldn't smoke cigarettes in front of him for a long time.
Because he got a kind of like father figure thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, like he's the oldest.
And y'all didn't ask the question, but let's go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, we had the worst ass whooping you ever got.
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
He never got a real ass whooping.
It involved him.
Okay. No, okay.
But
he's the baby. He
anyway,
never got
I'm the youngest.
He never got
I'm the
ass
youngest.
whooping.
So when he was in high school,
He was in elementary school.
and I was in elementary school,
Right.
he would get up to go to school. He would get up, and he had this weird habit constantly of making a triple-decker peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And for some fucking
Sounds
reason,
like me.
I would get up and, just be there.
Right.
He would eat half the sandwich and give me the other half.
Right.
That's where I figured out, this dude is different. For real.
I've never heard this story.
Not
Please,
bad.
Please. I've never heard the story. I never heard the story.
Different.
Okay.
And I always looked up to him.
Right.
Like
because you're the baby. You're the baby of the bunch, and he's the oldest.
I'm the youngest.
Yeah, and he's the oldest.
He's the oldest.
But
Now,
you sure got up to get that sandwich every morning.
I would stand up and show you. But ain't nobody else my size.
Surely you don't want to get me started.
Yes, I do want to get you started.
Those guys.
So this is my thing. If they go onto the trajectory we think we are, I think we should all chip in as a family and go to Arizona for the Super Bowl, and we don't have to go to the game. Let's just go to Arizona and just be a part of the whole celebration. Because if we go to the Super Bowl, we winning that shit. Yeah, we're gonna win that.
Mr. Bryan, as only you could say, it is true. It is true.
All this politeness. I don't understand all this politeness.
Well, because I get that from my dad. Because even in even when he's dissing you, he's still nice. He'd be like, "Hey, Mr. Clark, fuck you," but I just want to tell you, sir, you're an asshole. He was always nice about his insults.
He was always even keeled.
He was even keeled. Dad was always even keeled. Like he would insult you and be nice about it.
I don't understand. Because all I know how to be is me.
And well, that's what we're explaining. We're explaining that is you. That is you. Yeah.
And the thing about life is, and for real, I was taught by my mama. Mama.
Who is what age is she at now?
Her birthday will be December 20th. She'll be 89 years old.
Grandma, shout out to Grandma. We call her Shalati, and this is another thing that I asked recently. I was like, Shalati, and I guess it's Charlotte, but y'all have converted it in Ebonics to Shalati.
Yeah.
Over time.
Well, let me explain.
That's how you spell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me explain to you as she explained to me.
Okay, please do, sir.
Okay. All her people call her Shalati.
Mm-hmm.
She went to school, and the white people told her, your name is not Shalati, it's Charlotte.
Right.
So just like Charlotte, North Carolina,
right,
her name is Shalati to those that know her and love her.
So in the black community, it's Shalati. In the white community, it's Charlotte. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, that would should be she.
Yeah.
And that's
What?
how she know whether people know
People
her or
know
not.
her or not. Like, what do you call? You call me Charlotte? I don't mess with you. You call me Charlotte? I know who you are. Yeah, you my peoples. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, exactly right. But the thing about it is, I didn't bring it up. You did.
No. but I know.
no,
I mean,
no,
I'm
no.
saying that has a lot to do with the.
Yeah, that's true. With
That's
the
still like the Key and Peele with the AA run.
Aaron.
The AA run.
the ebonics and such.
but
The thing about it is, since you brought her up,
right.
and her birthday, she'll be 89 in about 2 weeks.
I love grandma.
Grandma,
She's a genuine person. If you ever met my
Well-
grandmother, she's like genuine. She's gonna tell you how she feel because she's earned that right for one.
So
Let me
ask both of y'all, which worst ass whooping y'all got from Charlotte?
He got a good story. But I know she never whooped my ass, but I know she whooped his ass before.
I'm going to tell you. About 1976.
He got a date on that.
That shit time stamp.
I came home from my tour of duty across seas,
Right.
and I flew into Philly. And we were walking to the car. Philly is a special airport. But anyway, I was walking to the car, and I seen this big black person sitting on my car.
As you coming home from the army.
Yeah, and at that time it was a 1970 Javelin, green.
Is that a Chevy?
Matter of fact-
Is that a Chevy or Ford?
No,
This Javelin.
it's neither of them.
Oh, it's AMC. That's right. You're right. It's AMC.
It was
AMC.
a AMC.
AMC.
It was one of their special products.
So you're getting out the army. You walk to the airport. Somebody's sitting on your car
Outside the airport.
outside the airport.
But yeah, that's besides the fact that it was my car,
Exactly.
and I had the 50-inch tires on the back. It was jacked up in the back.
Not the front, just the back.
Just the back.
Oh,
And first of all, I don't know about no 50 inch tires, but I was gonna let that ride.
We gonna go with it. We gonna go with it.
I'm gonna go with that.
Back
I ain't
in-
never seen no 50 inch tire.
back in the day, that's how we rolled. And I had this big individual sitting on the front of my car, and Mom didn't seem to matter who it was.
She was happy her son was home.
Yeah. So I said, Mom, who's that nigga on the front of my car? That's what I said.
I believe you.
Because I was a little upset.
I'm gonna paraphrase. Who's that nigga on the car, Ma?
She said, that's your brother Keith.
Oh.
I said, Keith. Damn, that boy got big.
So it's your brother. I'm sitting on the car.
Who was my brother? I
This one over here in the corner. He's coming up next. By the way.
didn't know him.
Hold on. You mean you didn't know him? So when you left for the army, how old was Uncle Keith when you left for the army?
I'll tell you in a second. Let me say, if I was 18, that means he was 11.
Oh, okay. So when you came back, he was still he was a man then, but you didn't know him.
No, he was.
Yeah.
He was a
teen.
He was a teen. He was a man in size. So after we got past that point, it was all good.
Right. So what happened though? Did
Wait a minute, but what?
Hold on.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute, we was asking about the ass whooping.
Yeah, we remember that. Yeah. He glossed over that. He glossed over the ass whooping part.
No.
Yeah, he didn't want to tell that part.
We ain't going to talk about the ass whooping.
No, Dad.
That's what we
No,
asked you. The worst ass whooping.
Worst
So
ass-
I'm
The
thinking,
worst.
I'm thinking that she whooped your ass after you got home from the army, based off the way the
Basic,
trajectory.
yeah.
I was like, damn,
Look.
he went through basic and got his ass whooped. He done came back from war. And mama beat his ass.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to hear.
Look,
Running 2 miles every morning. He got his ass whooped right there.
He came home one breakfast and said the wrong thing to mama, and she whooped his ass.
Look.
Worse than basic training.
I'm going to tell you the truth. When I got home, that very same day that I saw my baby brother sitting on my V,
Right.
this is what I told my mama. I said, Mama, thank you. She said, for what? Because she's such a nice woman. I said, for the times you put the belt to me. She said, it was my pleasure. She didn't say that.
Wait, I'm about to say, your mama's got the Chick-fil-A tagline on your ass. My pleasure.
Mama, thanks for whooping my ass. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Come on back.
I would do it again.
No.
I will whoop that ass again anytime you want.
See, but y'all got the wrong person on the map.
No, Dad, you was telling the stories. You tell the stories. You're leaving this open for this.
Good. Give me a chance. So the last thing you want to do is give me the minute. Because the one thing I'll never do.
What's that?
Because I've learned over my years, I'll never tell you a lie. I'll never tell you a lie.
He'll just duck the story. He'll just go to the left.
He won't tell you a lie. He just leave out all the facts.
I'm not even going to embellish my thoughts.
Right.
I'm going to just tell you how it was and how it is.
Right.
So Dad,
and the 50-inch tires.
I said, Mom, thank you for the many times that you whooped my ass.
you had that coming. Because you was rebellious. You was rebellious, Dad.
And guess what?
How old were you when you married my mom? 'Cause you was in your 20s, right? Because you was still a little rebellious, as I recall.
Yeah, I was about 28.
Yeah.
I was about 28.
And because you used to kick my ass. But I deserved like the same thing you said to your mom. Like, thank you for that. Yeah. I thank you for whooping my ass the way you did, because I was fucking up. I ain't gonna lie.
But guess what?
What?
It's a part two to that.
What's that?
I said thank you. Number one,
right?
Because I did not end up in jail.
Isn't that the job of a parent? I told my kids, my job as a parent, if you don't end up in jail in the morgue, I did my job. I did my job. You didn't go to jail or morgue? I did my job. I did my job.
You passed.
You passed.
Absolutely. Because I remember the times that she took my little ass to the police station and dropped me off.
So this is what my audience wants to know. Do you remember the time you took me to the cemetery?
Oh, very vivid.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
he
dropped his ass off.
No.
It wasn't no dropping.
It wasn't
off.
no dropping off. This is the time he found. You remember we talked about our gun fascination. He found my little 25 auto in the car, and so I guess he thought I was out of control, which I kind of was. Yeah. So one night, my father here decided I gotta check this nigga. So he drove me to the cemetery on Mallory Road. You know the one on Mallory Road?
Oh, yeah.
Far
lawn or something like that?
In the middle of the night. And
it's a nice cemetery.
It's nice cemetery. Nice, very nice. A lot of dead people there. And then we pulled in, and I was scared from the jump because Odell was the type of person. He was like, "Hey, ride with me." And then,
his tone never changed.
Never changed. He was like, "Come on, Brian, come on." So I got in the car with him. We drove, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder where we going." Then all of a sudden, we pull in the cemetery. I'm like, "Oh, I wonder why we here." And then he got out. He pulled deep into the cemetery, not like at the entrance where I could run away. He pulled deep into it, like this nigga ain't gonna go nowhere. And then we got the car, and he calmly told me, "Brian, if you kick my ass, you can do whatever you want. If I kick your ass, you can listen to me." And so that went about like how you think it would go for a teenager. Dad, we doing it your way.
You threw in the towel immediately.
Yeah. There was no thinking about like, I wonder can I get him. There was none of that thinking. It was like, oh, it's your way because I don't want to stay here.
So
yeah,
we got Me and this guy, you remember Sam that stayed in Nigga Town?
Yeah. That's my dad. So you remember we lived in Shannon Villas and we lived in Old Virginia. Do you remember what they called that little section right when you passed Old Virginia in the store and there was that little neighborhood?
Yeah. You talk about with the slave shacks. I mean, that's what they were. I mean,
but Dad, you know we called it as kids. We called it nigga town.
yeah.
We called it Nigga Town. And we were like, where you live? They were like, Nigga Town.
Nigga town. That's in the slave shacks.
Yeah. I mean, people, I hear you laughing, but that's what it was.
It's what it was, though. It was that.
It was little buildings up on bricks.
Bricks over there.
With maybe a door, and maybe it had 2 windows. But
it was right past Shannon Villas and past the store, right there to the left. That little neighborhood right there was. And we had friends over there, and they hated that we called it that. They was like, "Oh, you said Nigga Town." And we're like, it's not called that. But what other time? What was the name of that place?
It didn't have.
It didn't have a name.
It was Nigga Town.
It was
town. The name was Nigga Town. And I should have took some pictures of it while it was
Thank
there.
you for the older generation confirmation.
You're right.
No, this is the story with Keith. I told Mom she was going to come home with another woman or another female. I was running away. I had two
Can't
sisters.
do this, Mom.
I had 2 sisters. A third one just wouldn't do.
So you was happy he was a man? You was happy about the
I was happy it was Keith.
Right.
See, now the thing about Keith is the largest out of all of us.
That's because you was pumping him up with protein and peanut butter sandwiches as a toddler when he was.
No, here's the funny part. From what I understand,
in the meantime, when he was a baby and he came home, we was all glad to see him.
Right.
But the thing about it is, me and my brother under me, Tommy, we would get bored.
oh man.
So what we do in the midst of the boredom, we would use Keith
As entertainment?
as entertainment. So the play was,
and I do remember this.
throw Keith across the living room and catch him.
Or down the hallway.
And
catch him.
yeah.
Who had the best hands? Though? Like, who never fumbled Keith?
Nobody didn't fumble.
Whenever we dropped him and he started crying, that's when the end of the game.
Oh, shit. I lost everybody. Y'all hear that?
Yeah, I hear everybody. I mean, I can hear everything.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
But
I said,
he's
my bad.
Keith. One thing about Keith, he's a survivor.
Yeah, they used to toss me down. I remember being tossed down the hallway
He can't be tossed anymore.
between Tommy and Odell. They used to toss me and catch me.
I mean, like, but realistically, what was this distance? 2 yards, 5 yards.
No, it wasn't no damn 2 yards.
We
son.
talking.
We talking about
So I'm going to ask
I
you.
don't know, about 15.
the usual size of a room.
Let me ask y'all this question: Who was the boss of the siblings? Like, who was in charge? Like who?
Arlinda.
I had a sister.
So that Arlinda, like, she was in charge of like all y'all siblings. Like, she would.
That I remember.
Yeah, she still tries it.
Yeah, Arlinda.
Like once she say something, all y'all fall in line. Like,
All 4'9" of Arlinda.
Yeah, I know how little she is.
Yeah, all 4'9" of Arlinda.
And then all the siblings was like, okay.
And then and Michelle. When I used to get, I'm sorry to cut. When I used to get into it with some fools in the neighborhood that I knew I couldn't deal with, I'm going to get Michelle.
And she handled that.
Michelle was smoking. Michelle was smoking. Now, let's go back to your question about ass whoopings.
The worst ass whooping from Charlotta.
No, Charlotte.
Charlotte,
that's right, Charlotte.
Now, if you're talking about the worst, well, it's going to be the same
He
answer.
never got one.
That's a sibling jealousy.
Yeah. You don't remember when you was home and you told us we need to clean up the house, and we all
That's every damn weekend.
escaped.
You said y'all escaped like y'all was slaves. They was supposed to clean it.
Let us free.
I got smoked that time, and you weren't home during this time when we got in a fight with the Badgers next door.
Oh, so y'all had a rival neighborhood crew.
Yeah, we had a Hatfield McCoy shit going on.
Everybody.
And everybody on our side of the fence was fighting everybody on their side of the fence. Mom came home, found out, had us lined up outside the damn bathroom.
Really? Like grandma Shalati.
Yep.
Grandma.
You walk in the bathroom.
And she whooped your ass.
Strip down. You getting your ass whooped.
And then she said, and she be like, next.
You got to send the next person.
You got to send the next person in.
No, you ain't got to send them in. You can't talk. How the fuck you gonna send somebody in? You can't talk. How you gonna say their name?
You just pointing.
And you hyperventilating. You ain't gotta point the shit. That nigga know he next.
You next up in line.
Now here's the other one though.
That's like psychological warfare. Like, I'm gonna get my ass beat.
I gotta stand in line. To get my ass beat. I would have wanted to be first.
Here's the other one though.
Yeah, because the person gonna get it
I
bad.
don't know what I did. I did something and I was wrong. But Mom was gonna whoop my ass, right? And Tommy, my brother Tommy, and Tony was there. And they knew what I did. And them being assholes was like, if she start to hurt you, just call me.
Oh, so you think you about to get rescued?
Exactly.
I can hear them. Tommy!
Look,
they in the back dying laughing.
Look, I got Paw Patrol on speed dial and shit. I'm a fucking kid. So Mom took me in there. And she whooping my ass, and I'm jumping around in that
holler.
Hold on, I'm jumping around in that bathroom talking about Tommy Tony. And when Mom took a break, when she took a break from whooping my ass, I hear them on the other side of the door laughing at me.
Like, this nigga thought we was gonna rescue him.
Like we was gonna step in.
I'm young. I can't say what I'm thinking. I didn't even know the words that I was thinking. But at 55, when I walked out there and saw them giggling and laughing and rolling on the floor, first thought, fuck you. Y'all was fucked up. That was wrong.
They gave you
but that is some sibling shit you would do. Like, it's some sibling shit I would do to my sister. Like, just say my name when you get your ass beat, Karen. They're gonna take it easy on you. Just say my name.
Be the youngest and watch the shit that they did.
And then when you get the ass beat, Brian, you don't do nothing. You just sit there and be like, oh, you fell for that.
My worst ass whooping was, I'm doing the same thing. Keep talking. I'm jumping up and down. I try to dodge the belt and everything. And I don't even know who this nigga was. My mama was dating somebody.
That nigga beat your ass?
No, he came and pinned my ass down. Like, this motherfucker came and tackled me and pinned me down on the bed, so I couldn't get none of my...
And that was my
my movement.
Yeah, and that was my problem with my stepdad. Now that's my problem when my mom first started dating him. He was beating my ass. I was like, this nigga ain't my dad, and I was so mad about him being able to beat my ass. And I resented him for a long time. I resented my dad for a long time until I got older and realized, thank you for saving my life. For keeping me out of jail. I appreciate you whipping my ass.
Yeah, but I was like, you just messed up my beating protocol. I'm
Well, I hear Keith over there, but that'll bring me to two things.
What's that?
One, when it comes to whooping ass, I believe in whooping ass. Look here.
He covered an Old Testament.
Besides that, I work in psychiatry now, and I work with these young teens, adolescents, young folk,
right?
That come to my facility talking about and bragging about how they whooped their mama's ass.
Yeah,
or how
and we didn't grow. You didn't grow up like that. You didn't grow up like that. Yeah.
And it just
words if you want to.
Yeah.
My thing on my job is surely if you don't want to act right, I got some medicine to help you go to sleep.
You got some act right.
Yeah. I remember.
So,
I remember.
I believe in shooting them up.
He got some act sleep.
Yeah. and Dad, you remember when we moved to Old Virginia, the homosexual Red. Remember we bought the condo from Red, right? Was that her name?
Yeah.
You remember that?
She lived next door.
You remember that, right? Yeah, I still remember this. So we bought the condo from Red, and we moved in.
Wait. Why was she called homosexual Red?
No, she wasn't homosexual, but her friends were. Like
You was like, we bought it from homosexual Red. I was like, this is a backstory.
No, hold on.
This shit on our license.
You know what's funny? Hold on. Chris, you know what's funny?
My best friend Skip was hitting that.
No, you know what's funny?
For real?
My first person that I knew was
know
a
what? I'm not
homosexual.
surprised.
The first person who was homosexual was the friend of the woman we bought the apartment from. Remember, what was his name? Adrian. Remember, he used to come to y'all parties. He was like the first person I know got AIDS. Dad, you remember what I'm talking about? He was the dude who was friends with the one with Red Stokes. Remember her name was Stokes. His last name was Stokes, and he was friends with her. And he would come over. He was like flamboyantly gay, but at that time in my age, I didn't know what gay
you
was.
talking about Sean?
Yes,
Sean,
Sean. Yes.
Yeah.
And he was like flamboyant gay, but at the time, and that's how my tolerance, because my dad and my mom didn't treat him no different. He would come to the parties and be gay as shit, and they didn't give a shit. Yeah, they didn't care. It's like, yeah, come party with us.
He had
yeah.
the weed.
Oh yeah,
That nigga had the cocaine. He had the cocaine. He had the cocaine.
That too. That
They was
too.
like, Sean!
What's up?
Back in the day, we didn't believe in busting a motherfucker upside his head.
In front of witnesses.
We just used his chest and his body and his legs and just let him feel a little pain. So
you up to get me in front of everybody.
life is what it was. He escaped that one.
I did.
And then after that, believe it or not, after that, he had already fucked up. He's on a curfew because he don't like keeping his grades up. So he decided,
why? We could print them.
Damn sure did print.
Yeah, we was Dad, you had a computer. Did you not know we was printing our own grades?
Midterms and all kind of shit.
We was printing. Dad, I had to hustle. I had to hustle while printing everybody's grades out. You didn't even know.
We stole that Philwood paper.
Paperwork. We
stole that letterhead.
We had a business to sell midterms.
y'all were real. Y'all got away with a lot of shit.
Yes, we did.
But guess what?
But we didn't get away with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't print the finals.
No.
You could only do the midterms.
And you couldn't print the ass whoopings. You was getting for fucking up.
Two things you'll never be able to forget.
The ass whoopings. You
Your
can't
gun,
print them.
your gun that I confiscated.
Yeah, my 25. Chris, did I tell you about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he found my 25.
He was cleaning the car out.
Yeah.
Your gun.
Yeah.
I like to check up on you.
Clean and work hard.
The
My
Chevette.
Chevette. I used to keep a little 25 automatic underneath my seat, and one day Dad found it, and he didn't know what to do. He was like, should I confront him about it, or should I just get rid of this shit?
Honestly,
he was probably like, this nigga got a body.
He
probably got.
give you a gun with the keys.
You're right.
I mean,
This nigga got Chevette. This nigga need a strap. Yeah, he need a strap.
Somebody gonna try you.
Somebody
gonna try you. Especially if you fold your big tall ass out.
Yeah, if you driving a Chevette, you need a strap.
Brian just thought he lost it.
I just thought I lost it. I was like, I don't know what happened to my gun.
Yeah,
and
two
then
things.
until like years later, he didn't tell me this until years later. He was like, Brian, I found that gun on your seat. I was like, what'd you do with it? He was like, I threw that shit in the fucking river.
Brian never, ever asked me about the gun. He said, Dad, did you find a gun in my car? I said, no.
No.
What gun?
What gun? Yeah.
Surely you had a gun.
I got this shit for Chris. Chris was a gun fanatic. He was the one who he was the one.
Why are you gonna snitch on me?
I'm snitching now. He was the one.
What's the point?
I'm snitching. He was the one in the neighborhood. Everybody in the neighborhood had a gun because of Chris. Chris was like, y'all need to get guns. And we was like, okay, let's get guns. And
you the only one with 25 though. Everybody else had 380.
Yeah, I just had the 25 little auto. back then you can get a gun. Like, we had a dude in the neighborhood who would buy us guns for a 40
Oh,
ounce.
you ain't gonna snitch on him though.
No, that's I'm not gonna snitch on Snook.